What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another... What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. The support lately has been really crazy. I just wanted to feature some of the messages and the kind words that I got from you guys. And I also wanted to feature some of the most popular business questions regarding side hustles, business credit cards, and things to that nature. But I just wanted to give recognition. I know I say thank you a lot on this channel, and it really is because I'm truly grateful to have this opportunity to be able to speak on this platform. I never thought I would be like doing YouTube like this full time ever in my entire life. So every day, super big blessing. Just want to say thank you guys so much. I truly do appreciate it. Let's get into the video. Let's talk about business credit cards. I got a whole list of topics that we're going to cover, and we're going to drop a lot of fire in today's video. So if you guys are watching this video, first of all, thank you. Second of all, congratulations, because you are on a path to bettering your own personal finance. And if you're watching a business video talking about credit cards and money and things like that on YouTube, when you could be watching entertainment videos, prank videos, things like that, I think you guys are on the right path. My audience is truly incredible. Like, usually my audience really knows what's going on. They know what's up. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Now, let's get into the video. Number one, we're going to talk about how to get approved for a business credit card. Basically, what the most important factors are when you guys are considering applying for a business credit card. There's a lot of myths out there. There are a lot of misconceptions out there as well too. So we're going to break those things down and tell you exactly what you need to know in terms of just getting accepted for a business credit card. Number two thing is we're going to talk about personal expenses on a business credit card. Very popular question I get almost consistently. I would say every other day I'm getting a question. Brian, can I put personal expenses on a business credit card or not? We're going to go over exactly what the answer to that is. For number three, we're going to talk about how I personally manage my books with my business credit card. So most people who do have business credit cards do own a business to some extent. There will be people out there who have a low income or a low generating revenue business. And there will be people who watch my videos who are making easily 7 to 8 figures profit, revenue. They're in the $1 million ranges of towards how much money they can actually make. And I know my demographic is pretty wide out there. So we're going to talk about exactly what I do to manage my books, because it does get a little hectic when you're running a lot of businesses, when you have things going in and out. And I have a service that I particularly use that helps me a lot in terms of getting my taxes straight and just knowing what is a business deduction and what isn't. Number four, we're going to talk about how much money do I need to make to get accepted for a business credit card. Another very popular question. Some people out here do not make that much money with their business, but there are people who are still getting accepted for these business credit cards. And I'll share with you guys exactly what that revenue amount is. And last but not least, we're going to talk about business ideas that work well with business credit cards. So a lot of people do find themselves getting accepted for business credit cards, but they don't know exactly what the next step is and what they should do on that list. For the people who do get accepted for these business credit cards, you should understand that there should be a game plan in place. If you're getting all of these credit cards that don't report to your personal credit report, you're getting all these cards that have no APR, and you're getting a lot of money, basically a loan that is interest-free for a couple years, you can really learn how to leverage that. And if you're sitting on free interest-free money and you're not investing that, or you're not using that towards any personal ventures that you may have, then I believe that that is a waste, and you really should have a game plan. And as someone on this platform, I think my job right now is to really educate you guys and also inspire and motivate you guys to just pursue these passions, to pursue these businesses. And as someone who has started their own business at a young age and who has gotten to the level where I am now, which is, it's not that high, but it's better than nothing. I think I can really inspire some people that are watching this video, and hopefully I can. So make sure you guys stick through the whole thing. There's going to be a lot of value in here. And if you guys at any point get a lot of value, drop that like button. Drop the like button. Drop the like button. Drop the like button, guys. Drop the like. That's inappropriate. That was so inappropriate. What? Why? Shut up. Okay, lesson number one, we're going to talk about how to get approved for business credit cards. I made my own independent video on that, but we're just going to recap on some of the things I mentioned, because I know we're getting a lot of new users, a lot of new subscribers, a lot of people who just for some reason still miss out on those videos. Guys, I've had videos, they're not disappearing, the information really isn't changing, but let's go over it. So you're interested in business credit cards and you don't know how to get approved for one. What are the things you can do to most likely better your chances in getting accepted for a business credit card? Now, there is a stigma and a misconception that you need to have a very high DMB score, which is basically like your business credit score, or you need to have some type of history with net 30 accounts with banks and other lenders. That's not true either. And if you guys have no idea what that meant, that's okay, because most of the time that's not even really going to matter. Back in the day, those things really mattered because if you're getting a business loan for your business, there is a lot of volatility to that. And what that means is there's a lot of risk. So if I went into a bank and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get my $500,000 of funding right here for my new business, let me get that. I'll pay you guys back in a couple years. I think, let me have some of that money. There's a lot of risk associated with that because banks and other issuers know that when it comes to business, this whole thing can be a gray area. The main concern that a lot of these banks have is really just the authenticity of that business and whether or not you're going to run away with that money. As credit card consumers and users, as long as we can show just a little bit of proof or a little bit of security that we can borrow money and pay it back, that's usually good enough for these credit card issuers to lend you out these business credit cards and to get you guys accepted. Now, the best way to gauge someone's performance on how obedient they are in terms of repaying that money, it's gonna come from your personal credit score. People often think that this does not relate to your business credit score at all because they're two different ways. Look, what you guys need to understand is that if you're trying to get accepted for your first business credit card, the only way they can really gauge on how well you can get money and pay back is off your personal credit score. If you already have a bad personal credit score, chances are you are probably not going to have a good business credit score, and the banks really just want to reduce that risk of anyone defaulting on their payments, sending it over to collections, and going through the hassle of retrieving their own money. As credit card consumers, we really need to understand exactly the idea that these banks and these credit card issuers have. They actually make a lot of money off of those interchange fees. So if we are a business owner, if we are someone who's trying to start our own business or an aspiring entrepreneur starting from nothing, chances are you may actually use that money more than someone who's making just a very corporate salary 9 to 5 or a $40,000 or $50,000 salary income every year. If you're someone who has a business compared to someone who owns a corporate job, there is a much higher likelihood that you can make more money, which means you could spend more money on ads, spend more money on office supplies. You end up having more expenses than your average person. And these bank issuers, they want to be the card that captures those interchange fees and be there for you. Because out of anyone you guys may know, business owners usually are the people that spend the most amount of money on these credit cards. And credit card issuers want to catch those fees that they can, and they really want to be there for you in terms of being the support, being the card that they use, and lending the money out for them to get back. And really that just cycles a lot of the money through basically the whole ecosystem of the consumer, the business, and the bank. And just it's a cycle basically. It's a little harder to explain, but it's a cycle, kind of like a period. That's a bad example. Moving on. So the main thing you guys need to understand is that business owners, we have more volatility, but this comes down to that risk versus reward analogy. We may have a lot more risk, but our reward is pretty dang high. And if they get lucky with maybe just one person who has a business credit card with, for example, American Express, chances are if they end up becoming the next Jeff Bezos and he's putting all of his expenses on that card, it's a high chance of a good reward system too, regardless of what that risk level may be in the beginning. Now, another very important factor when looking to get approved for your first business credit card is that you need to have some type of proof or validation that you are the owner of that business. This is not really to validate whether or not this business is authentic. It's really to show that ownership for the business because, like I said, they want more people to have these business credit cards. They just don't want someone else getting the card, fraud identity, doing all those things, and then running off with it. It really comes down to security. There's a couple ways you guys can actually improve your chances of showing ownership in a business. A couple good examples are just getting your EIN. And EIN is basically a tax identification number for that business. So we all have our own social security number. I have my social security number, which is 1234567. Go like this video and subscribe. That was clever, right? We all have our own social security number, and businesses, because they are kind of like their own entity, it can kind of be like its own person. Those businesses can get their own identification number too. That is what an EIN is. An EIN is completely free to get. People think you have to pay money, you have to hire service. You literally go on irs.gov, you fill out a couple things on their website. It's as simple as signing up for a new Twitter or a Facebook account. You punch in your information, you let it load, you get your instant EIN number. You use that to put into your application to show that you have that EIN or that identification number for that business. You use that for your application. And then you also want to just show some type of proof for ownership. So if I am someone who's in the reselling business and basically I have an eBay account, maybe I'll use the bills or the utility I get from paying the fees on that eBay account. Or in other ways, just show proof that the business name is on one of my bank accounts that I pay for. So when applying for a new business credit card, it's just like applying for a personal credit card, except you just have to add in a couple more things. It's the EIN, or what type of business you are, what type of entity it is. Is it a sole proprietor? Is it an LLC? Is it a corporation? Chances are most likely people are going to be a sole proprietor. Another thing that it asks you is how much money is it making. So there are a lot more factors that go into this, but guys, I made a walkthrough, a step-by-step guide on my blog that you guys can check out, listed down below in the description, on how you guys can get your first business credit cards. If you guys do apply, don't forget to check out the links. I got affiliate links down below. Does support the channel, but you don't have to use it. But it does support the channel. Now, going to number 2, let's talk about personal expenses, what you guys can put on those business credit cards, what's not allowed, and basically what the rules are. Keep in mind, you guys, I'm not a financial expert. I don't have a business degree. I'm not someone who, I don't even know what credentials you would need to be able to talk about something like this, but I'm no expert. So do this at your own discretion. I'm not gonna tell you guys exactly what you can do or you can't do, or what you shouldn't do or what you should do. I'm just gonna share with you guys exactly my experiences and exactly what I think about the whole system. So for me, when I first got my business credit cards, I put all of my expenses on my business credit cards. And that is because when we're talking about personal versus business expenses, it's really a gray area. Not many issuers can actually determine what is an expense or not. So a good example is, in the recent light of a lot of YouTubers coming up, a very popular way to make money is actually by eating food. This is an unusual way to make money, but a lot of people are making money, and this is called mukbang. So mukbang is literally where you sit in front of a mic, kind of like this one. You just eat food. Sometimes you don't even talk at all. And if I have a business where I need to eat food to make money, these banks are gonna see me going out to Shake Shack, McDonald's, Five Guys, and see all these charges on food, which may not be a business expense to them, but because businesses can really be so wide range right now, business expenses can almost capture anything. So for me, I've never had an issue putting any of my other expenses on my business credit cards, but at the same time, a lot of my expenses I have can arguably be a business expense. If I need some journals to basically make a video on, they're just gonna see a lot of these Amazon charges and not understand what it is. But here's the thing. Banks don't care. A lot of people think banks are like, oh my gosh, this business, a person, shut him down. We gotta shut him down. He's a menace to us. A lot of people right now are paranoid about shutdowns and getting their accounts suspended and just all these things. That happens if you guys mess with the point reward system. If you guys use a self-referral link, they will probably shut you down. If you guys get gift cards and reload them back onto your bank account and you collect the points and you cycle all that, that is probably gonna get you shut down. But using business credit cards to just buy things isn't enough for you guys to get an account shut down. You usually need to aggravate something and do something more in order for you to risk your account and have something happen to it. For me, I've had my cards for over, I would say 3-4 years now. I've had no issues at all. Not only do I use my account the way they were supposed to be, but I use my business credit cards for the expenses that I would assume would go towards my business. Now, business credit cards offer very good incentives like the welcome bonus associated with those cards. Now, sometimes these cards make you pay $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 in a span of 3 months to get all those points. I know sometimes people are gonna have to leak their accounts onto it, but I have put my expenses on that card. I put my car payment, I put my rent, I put all my other expenses on that card, and I've had no issues. You guys need to understand that these banks and credit card issuers are making money off the interchange fees. We need to understand that. They care less about the expenses that you put on the card. They care more about the security and whether or not your account is safe. save? Now, this really rolls into number 3, which is, so how do you manage all your books if you have all of these different expenses on your business credit card? So this actually happens to me quite frequently. So I usually just carry my Chase Ink business cards. I carry my American Express Gold card. And whenever I go out to any of these Asian restaurants in my area, they never take my American Express Gold card. They always they assume that the fee is just way too high on it and they don't accept it. So usually the only cards I'm left with is my Chase Ink business cards. Now, if I'm buying a meal and I know it's for a personal spend and that's the only card I have at the moment that I know they'll accept, I'm gonna give them that card. It doesn't make a difference. But what it does affect towards the end of the year is if you're someone who's paying taxes on your business and you really want to separate both of those two things, it can get a little tricky. So this really leads into the next topic for number 3, and it's how do I manage my business and my personal expenses, especially when I'm commingling my business credit cards with whatever personal expense I have. Now, for me personally, I use services like QuickBooks. QuickBooks, I actually have had 5 accounts at one point with them, all for my different businesses I was running. I think I have only like 2 or 3 accounts left. And you may be wondering, like, Brian, that's overkill. Why do you have so many? Well, you really want to keep at least your businesses separate from everything else. And some of the main benefits of this app is that you can actually sync up all your banks, all your credit card accounts, and you can just determine whether or not what expense it was, attach some receipts. It even tracks how much you're driving. So if I'm driving to an office, instead of like going back home later, calculating those miles, I can just click one button and it'll tell me exactly what those business mile deductions are. So I actually have my own link down below. It'll save you guys 50% off your QuickBooks membership. I recommend you to try it out for at least a month. If you don't like it, just cancel it anytime. It's not a contract thing. You try it out, you organize your books, and I think right now is one of the best times to do it, at least for the year of 2020, because most business owners I know going into the new year, we're only in January. You have enough time to go back in the last month or so and to really figure out exactly what expenses go under the business or the personal category and really just organize yourself that way. Now, QuickBooks is one of my personal favorite ways. I use that consistently. It allows me to track my expenses better. It allows me to get a better overview of how much money's coming in, what's going out. But if you guys don't want to pay for any type of service or you think it's not valuable to you, then you guys can actually just use Google Sheets. I have a budget planner too, completely for free. You guys can check it out. I have it linked down below, which is an easy way for you guys to actually put in all the things. The downside is, like I said, QuickBooks automatically syncs in everything together. Google Sheets, you need to do it everything independently. So if I have 7 cards with Chase, if I have 5 cards with American Express, and then 3 more cards with Discover, and then I have 3 different bank accounts, like 2 business accounts and then 1 personal account, that means I would have to log in and go through every single credit card to be able to log that in, and it just takes a lot more time. So for me, I'm someone who really values my time over certain things. I am very frugal with some of the subscriptions I've had. A good example is probably Netflix. Like I've been always using my family members for a while. There are some things that I do believe that you guys should not pay for, but then there are some things where if you save a lot of time and you can reinvest that time into different things or better things, and you have a better ease of mind and just it makes life a lot simpler. There are things that are considered good investments. I would say this is one of them. QuickBooks, I've been running with them for about a couple years now, and I've never had an issue with them. So that's what I recommend if you guys are trying to juggle out your personal and your business expense and it's commingled with your business credit cards. Just separate them at the end of every week using a service like that. It'll go into this list that says it's in review, and all you have to do is just think back, was this a business expense or was this a personal expense? Was I getting a business meal with some of my buddies who were other YouTubers too, or was I just eating out with a couple of my friends and it was just for a personal expense? You guys just go through that every week, look through it at the end of the month, and you have your own reports. It's so easy, not just for you, but if you work with an accountant or a CPA and you have to file taxes, it makes the whole process a lot easier. I know how stressful it can be, especially when you have a business like e-commerce where you have money coming in, but then you have cost of goods, advertising, you have to pay off your contractors, the people you have hired, your virtual assistants, and you have all these fees, the processing fees. It just gets a little overwhelming. I think that's one of the easiest ways to put it. It gets overwhelming for businesses. That's why accountants are their own thing. That's why people need accountants, but this will just make it a lot easier. So that's what I use personally for number 3. And if you guys want to check out QuickBooks, I got a link down below. So how much money does my business need to make in order for me to get accepted for a business credit card? I find that a lot of my viewers are actually trying to get into business credit cards, but they don't really have their first business set yet. They have a general idea of what they want to do, whether that's trying out out drop shipping, trying out Amazon FBA, trying out affiliate marketing, or even just setting up their own blog. There's people who have their own ideas. I know vending machines was pretty popular. I think it still is right now, or just flipping random things. People usually have an idea of what type of business they want to get into, but usually what happens is a lot of people get scared before applying because they feel like they haven't really made enough money to qualify for these business credit cards. I know a handful of people who have made less than a couple $1,000s or even a couple $100s on their business, yet they still get accepted for it. Business revenue isn't as important as people think it is. They just want to have a good gauge or an understanding of exactly what you're going to do and how much money you're going to make. You know, for me, when I was first applying for my business credit card, I had no idea how much money I was making, because when you're 3 months into business and say you only make $2,000, $3,000 for that month, can you project to make more money in the future? What is that yearly income? How can you even gauge that? For me, a lot of that was estimated income that I figured I would make. If for that month I only did 10 sales, but I still made a revenue of $3,000, I would gauge maybe next month I'll make a little bit more, or project it, see exactly where this is all headed, and see exactly what my revenue is and add that into my income. A lot of people get hesitant on this, but guys, keep in mind, a lot of these banks and credit card issuers, they want people to get more business credit cards. You just have to put in the correct information. You have to show validity in the business that you own, and it's as simple as that. It's like a personal credit card, except there's just one more page and adding in a couple more details. For me, there's no real answer to how much money you should be making to get accepted for a business credit card. I've seen people who have made little to nothing still get accepted for these cards. This is just up to you, how well your business is doing. And if it does come to the situation where you don't get accepted, or it's that pending reminder, call the business reconsideration line. Let them know, like, hey, I'm in this situation where I want to start my own business. We're not making that much money right now. I'm going to put my blood, sweat, and tears into this business. And although it may not be anything right now, although it may be just a little swimmer, just swimming around, I know that there's a lot of potential, because I want to start this business. I want to grow this business, and I want to use you guys, Chase, American Express, whoever these other issuers are. I want to make sure you guys get the fees and are there with me while I grow this business from the beginning. They understand. A lot of these issuers, they understand. So really don't think it's you get accepted or you don't. You really have a lot of possibility in terms of moving around and seeing what you guys can do. So for the fifth topic, we're going to talk about business ideas that work well with business credit cards. So the biggest benefit of business credit cards, like I always mention, is that it does not report to your personal credit report. This does not mean they're not going to pull out of your personal score to check what your personal score is. I've had people confuse that so many different times. They need to check something in order to get you approved for that business credit card. So they will do a hard inquiry on your personal credit score if you have no relationship with them, to check what your personal credit score is before getting you approved for that specific card. Now, that does not mean if you get that card, once you get that card, you have an open account. The thing is, if you have utilization, if you have debt, if you have a balance on there that you're not willing to pay off, it's not going to affect your personal credit report. That's what it means. It does not mean they're still not going to do a hard pull, but that doesn't even matter. Hard pulls go away. It's temporarily. So business ideas that work very well with business credit cards, I would often look into businesses that can provide any type of return almost either immediately or within that 1 year program. There are business credit cards out here that offer you a no APR promotion for like 12 to 15 months. And if you go into the ATM business, you buy an ATM, you invest your money into that, and you get your return back into it. And then you keep leveraging OPM, which is other people's money. Those are really the type of businesses where I can see people doing that. But I always recommend try to use your money first before leveraging other people's money. I know when you have access to funds like this, when you have instant access that you can get $50,000 to $100,000 of free money with no interest for a whole year, people can go a little crazy with that, but that's really not the way you would want to go about it unless you're really certain you can get your investment back. I always say, start a business, use your own money. I'm not gonna lie, I had no money when I first started my business. I had to use my student loans for that to buy my first round of inventory, and it's one of those things where I say, try to work that extra job and then put a little bit of time into that side hustle, maybe after you're done with work, but reinvest into the business with your own money. Try to use your own money first, and when you get to a point where you need to scale, then start leveraging other people's money. So a good example is, if I know I'm a senior in college right now, and I know for sure I signed on, I did my internships, and I'm about to start working at a corporate location, maybe that's a good opportunity for me to test what type of businesses may work, especially when I know I'm gonna get another paycheck when I work that other job. Really, the discretion is up to you. But when it comes to different business ventures and what you guys can do, I always recommend anything involving the internet. Amazon FBA, drop shipping, retail arbitrage, affiliate marketing, starting your own YouTube channel, starting your own blog. There's so many different things you guys can do to make money online. But the reason why I say making money online is one of the best ways right now is because you don't have overhead. You don't have to pay rent on a brick and mortar store. You don't have to buy a whole booth. You don't have to worry about true cost of goods. Depending on what business you're in, you can really start with nothing and make yourself everything with little to nothing. And that's why I recommend starting with the internet, because all you need is a computer, you need a Wi-Fi connection, maybe a phone, but you don't need much in terms of having a successful business. I love businesses where I don't need that much capital. I want to put my work, my intensity, I want to put my drive into the business and have that become the sole determination on whether I'll succeed or not. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are able to find some value, some fire in this video regarding business credit cards, businesses, side hustles. If you guys want to see more videos just like this, let me know down below in the comments. And I also want to hear, do you guys have a business credit card? Like, where are you in your journey? Did you get accepted for one already, or are you trying to get accepted for your first one? I really want to hear where people are in terms of their business credit card adventure or their journey. But guys, keep in mind, I'm not an expert. This is just my experience. Another thing is, if you guys still need help with your business credit cards, I made more in-depth videos, not only on my blog, but on my YouTube channel as well. There's a whole playlist regarding business credit cards. So if you guys are still unsure about the whole application process, the full benefits of it, check out my other videos on this channel regarding business credit cards, the benefits, and what you guys can do with it. Under most of those blogs and videos that I have on this channel, I do have affiliate links that do really support this channel. So if you guys found yourself getting any type of value and you guys want to support in any way, that's a very easy way you guys can do that, but don't feel obligated to use those links at all. If you guys have your own personal links, or maybe someone you know, use theirs, help them out, help out the people that you care about and love in your life. But if you guys want to support this channel in any way, that's a free, easy way without you guys losing or missing out on anything. It's just an easy way to support this. But guys, I hope this video did help you guys out. If you guys have any other questions for me, let me know down below in the comments. I'm going to go through them, try to answer them, or maybe even make another business credit card video where I can help you guys more out with. So let me know, give me some feedback, and I hope I see you guys in the next one. Peace, 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 peace.